I just found out who her dad is, and he's here, which is really cool to me because I'm such a big fan. She's the baby of the lead singer of Troop. This young lady, she's a singer and a songwriter. She's from Pasadena. She is so super talented. She's beautiful. She's got a beautiful soul and spirit. So without further ado, show your love for Miss SIA AMUN.
Y'all still with me?
I recorded my first song when I was 10 years old. I knew at a very early age that I wanted to be a singer for the rest of my life. I remember when I was 4 years old, my grandmother asked me to sing a song for her. I was on my little tricycle and I don't remember what I sang, but whatever it was, it made her so happy to hear that I even had a voice. And from that moment on, I knew like this is what I want to do and that's how I want to make people feel. I pretty much grew up in the studio my whole life, honestly. Like I never really spent a lot of time like hanging out with friends or just being out. I wasn't really allowed to be out as much as I would have liked to, but I was definitely fortunate enough to grow up around people like James Fauntleroy, who was one of the best songwriters. My dad, Harvey Mason, so many amazing, amazing people who literally at that time were some of the best in the music industry. They really shaped and just groomed me into being a songwriter and an artist and showed me what it was like to even create a song.
I just need somebody that's gonna be there, be there. Somebody that's gonna be there. I just need somebody that's gonna be there, be there. Somebody that's gonna be there for me when I need.
It's interesting because a lot of people think that because my dad is who my dad is and I grew up in the music industry that it was kind of easy for me. Like people have no idea what it was actually like. When I was 16, my mom thought that it was best that I be on my own. So she kicked me out or whatever. And from that moment on, I was so determined to just prove to her and everybody in the world that I was, was gonna become something.
It's been about a whole month. And I just can't imagine another month of this,
After a year of working with my dad, he found out that I had a boyfriend and he wasn't too happy about it. He decided that it would be best for us to split ways and end our working relationship. I was devastated, of course. I couldn't believe it. And I cried my heart out to my grandmother and she really stressed to me how I didn't need him. So from there, I kind of just plotted on ideas and ways that I could just put myself out there. I started an entertainment company where I put on showcases and other artists would perform and sell tickets. Background gigs started to come in. Just networking. I was networking with literally everybody that I could possibly network with. I was at every open mic, every jam session, every event you can think of, I was there. I remember getting a call at 2:30 in the morning one night. No lie, I hung up on Teddy Riley about 6-7 times. I thought it was a prank call. 5 minutes later, he calls me back. And at this time, singing on your voicemail was super popular. And I was singing Buy Your Drink by T-Pain. Every time I hung up on him, the voicemail would play. So the last time he called, he's like, look, little girl, the only reason I'm calling you back is because you're singing your ass off on your voicemail. And I really need you to do this session tomorrow. Either you're gonna be there or you're gonna miss this opportunity. And I got so silent, I just sat on the phone that was my very first professional studio session, my very first time being in a room without my dad. He had no idea who my dad was. It was I was getting called and I was in the room at that moment because of who I was and what I had to offer, not my dad's name. In 2016, I backpacked to London. I had $120 in my bank account and nowhere to stay. I had never been out of the country. Literally, I had no idea what I was doing or why I was going, but it was so heavy on my spirit. It was so bad to where I couldn't even sleep at night. And I'm like, Dad, I feel like I need to go to London. I don't know why, but it's like really heavy on me. And he told me, if you listen to that voice inside that's urging you to book your flight and to go, I promise you that it'll take care of you. And so I took a leap of faith. I trusted not only my dad, but that voice inside. I booked a one-way flight. I got there, I walked around the airport in disbelief. And then, eventually I started to kind of find my way. And I released my first EP as an independent artist called The Blue Dream Project. I sold out my first headline show. I was on mainstream radio, and it was literally a trip out of a movie. And that specific moment, that time, was probably the most monumental moment of my career, and an experience that I'll never ever forget. And it really is the moment that I got started. Had I not gone to London and released that EP, I probably would not be sitting here right now today.
They just played my song on the radio!
You said they just played it?
Yes!
You heard it?
They played Flowers!
What did they say?
And one thing led to another, I worked with and been in sessions with everybody. Tyrese Gibson, Brandy. I have placements on Mary J Blige, Trey Songz. After a while, I started to just feel like, why don't I tell my story and release my music and introduce myself to people and let people dive into my world? And that was really how the transition happened from me being a songwriter to an artist. It's just more so of having the faith and the belief in yourself to go for it and not care what other people think or if people are going to judge you. Once I became an artist, it was like, this is what I like, and if you don't, little boy, I do not to break your heart. Oh, no, run away, little boy, I do not to break your heart. My ultimate goal as an independent artist is to shift the culture. That's always been my biggest goal. And it was just to inspire and just be an example for somebody else that is less fortunate, or somebody who doesn't have the example, somebody that's not in an environment where people are active and pursuing their dreams. All it takes is just believing in yourself.